Shocking. Extreme massive F1 drivers change is coming. Albert Fabrega broke some big news on Sunday night. The Formula One journalist in the service of the Spanish broadcasting company The Zone reported on Twitter that an early driver switch between two teams is coming up. He did not reveal which team will switch its driver when, but he did mention that the allegedly changing driver has already been under contract with another team for the next season. According to him, the two drivers concerned were very happy about the change and see it as a great chance for them, both to continue their careers. Hi guys, welcome back to Race Pace. Stick around to find out which drivers will likely be switching, or is it all possible in the first place? Let's head right in. The news is a big deal because there have been rumors about a mid-season driver change already. However, those rumors have since died down and are only brought up again if there are major changes to the sports leadership or if a team seems to have problems. For example, one of its drivers loses points due to technical gremlins in several races in a row. It is plausible that one of these two things could happen as early as this year, so Fabrega's tweet suddenly picked up steam again. A lot of people seem to be very excited about the news anyways. They want to know more about the possible switch and how it would affect Formula One as a whole. Here are some possible switches to buzz on. Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel. It looks like there's a chance Fernando Alonso could fill the seat Sebastian Vettel is likely to vacate at Aston Martin. Vettel is stepping down from the team after this season, and it's been rumored that Alonso would be a perfect fit for his place. It's unknown whether or not Alonso will actually be leaving Ferrari after this year, so nothing is certain yet. We'll just have to wait and see if it happens. Alonso has been linked to a seat at Aston Martin from Alpine, which would see him replace Sebastian Vettel if the four-time champion is sold before the end of the 2022 season. Alonso, who says he wants to keep racing for 2 or 3 more years, may be nudged out of Alpine by the Renault-owned team's reserve and reigning F2 champion Oscar Piastri. Former F1 driver David Coulthard says that Alpine aside, the 40-year-old's options are limited. Aston Martin's team principal, Mike Crack, says he could see an interesting possibility in an Alonso-Aston partnership. Palmer says Vettel's seat hasn't been confirmed for the entirety of next season, and a replacement would need to be found if that were the case. He also said that it would be hard to see McLaren partnering with Aston, as their history together was too disastrous. Oscar Piastri comes in as Alonso's replacement. Alpine's reserve driver and reigning Formula 2 champion, 20-year-old Australian Oscar Piastri, may be in line to fill in for the team's injured regular driver, Spaniard Fernando Alonso, at the 2019 Australian Grand Prix. The Renault-owned team has been using its reserve driver since Alonso broke his ribs during an off-roading trip to Chile. In a statement released on January 27, the Renault F1 team said that Fernando is making good progress in his recovery from a fractured rib he sustained whilst on holiday, and that it may be a few more weeks before he is fully fit and able to resume racing. That could open the door for Piastri, who raced for Ardent International in F2 this season. He became the sport's youngest ever point scorer when he finished tops in the 2021 Bahrain Grand Prix. Piastri also made his F1 practice debut with Haas, becoming the youngest driver to complete a lap at Albert Park, Melbourne. Williams still on Nick de Vries. Formula One journalist Joe Soward writes a weekly blog about the happenings in the sport, and yesterday he posted about some interesting rumors going around about Williams' driver lineup for 2023. According to Sky Sports, Williams would be interested in signing 21-year-old racing prodigy Oscar Piastri, who is currently competing in the F2 at F3 series. He'd be a surprising choice, as Formula One teams tend to favor veterans over rookies. Piastri has already made a name for himself, though, winning last year's title. His performance there impressed 3 other teams enough to sign him as their reserve driver for 2023: Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren. Soward claims that Williams has not yet reached out to Piastri about driving for them next year because they're still considering another option, Nick de Vries. The Dutchman's manager recently told us that he had talks with Renault, but according to him, Renault didn't get back, wrote Soward. We understand that Williams have also been talking to de Vries, but there have been no firm commitments either. Esteban Ocon's contract. The Frenchman's paperwork also runs until the end of 2024, leaving Alpine junior Oscar Piastri to look elsewhere for a seat. The Australian had already been tipped to join Leclerc at Ferrari, but could now be in line to replace Alonso as a senior racer. Ocon's future is unclear too, but he is expected to stay with Alpine despite failing to score points in 2022 and only completing a handful of laps during testing due to reliability problems. Renault F1 driver Esteban Ocon, who has been linked with a move to Mercedes or Ferrari in recent weeks, will be staying put for the foreseeable future. In a deal announced by the Instone-based team on Wednesday, the French driver's contract has been extended until November 30, 2024. Ocon joined Renault as a reserve driver for 2016 and stepped up to race full-time alongside Nico Hülkenberg this year. His first podium came at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and he currently sits third in the Drivers' Championship behind Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel after 2 races in 2019. Is Daniel Ricciardo finally moving? Although his teammate Lando Norris usually outperforms him, McLaren's current season has been disappointing for Australian driver Daniel Ricciardo. First of all, the Red Bull driver won at Monza last season, but has since struggled to perform in his new team. At Imola, he finished 18th after colliding with Carlos Sainz on the opening lap. His McLaren teammate, Lando Norris, finished this race in 3rd place. Secondly, we must admit that it's incredibly hard to perform a good race week in, week out. In order to have a good result, you have to drive consistently and avoid mistakes. In this sense, Norris is doing a better job than Ricciardo. Although the Briton hasn't won a single Grand Prix yet, his performance is impressive. Moreover, he drives for McLaren Renault and has a worse car than his teammate. On the contrary, Ricciardo couldn't get the best out of his car in the 2021 season as well as in 2022. As he commented after the Italian GP, his car was pretty quick and could have finished on the podium if it hadn't been for an accident involving Sainz. Although it was a good day for Norris, Ricciardo was victimized by unnecessary contact on the first lap. After he overtook Carlos Sainz, his younger teammate made contact with him that sent him tumbling back through the pack. Ricciardo said he will not forget this incident and is ready to give it back at the next race in Barcelona. Regarding their contracts, Norris seems to be happy at McLaren while Ricciardo feels frustrated by McLaren's performance. Therefore, the Australian might want to move away from Woking at the end of the season. Is Lando Norris really replacing Ricciardo? If you follow the Formula One transfer news, you've probably already heard that Daniel Ricciardo has been replaced at McLaren by Norris as first choice. The experienced F1 regular has struggled this season with McLaren, and his decision to leave seems to be a good one for both parties. The team is moving in a new direction, having signed Belgian driver. This newcomer has won praise from his teammates at McLaren and driven strongly this season on the back of a solid preseason testing program. His first win has been predicted by most of the world's racing media, and if he manages to do it this weekend in Barcelona, expects him to spend more time at the front of the field as he continues on his debut season. What do you think about these likely changes for next season? How does this affect Piastri's rapid development? Will Alonso and Vettel's swap do good for anyone? Leave your views on this new development in the comments section, and don't forget to hit the like and subscription button to get notified when a new video is out. Bye and thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.